easy way.
It's recording. Okay, good. All right, hey everybody. So I'm here for a highly requested video. All right, I'm not gonna lie, this was not highly requested. I just wanted to do this. So I'm here with my friend Kathryn.
Hi.
We're gonna do a college Q&A with questions that I came up with for us. If y'all don't know me, hey, my name is Janice. I'm a sophomore here at UNC Chapel Hill. I'm majoring in environmental science and geography. And Kathryn, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Kathryn. I'm a junior here at UNC too, and I'm majoring in business with a minor in education.
Ooh, she stands higher education. And so, okay, let's see what's next on the agenda. Becoming friends. So a lot of people have wanted to know the story of how we became friends.
Well, we were orientation leaders together, so I was a returning orientation leader last summer. 2019. And now Janice is a returning orientation leader for 2020.
Just kidding.
But I don't know how we became friends, really. I guess.
I always ponder this.
Yeah, we kind of try to think back as to when it started.
Okay. I think it was when we went to Cosmic Cantina together.
Yeah, that's
like,
probably true.
Yeah, we do buddy dates for orientation where it's like you're like assigned a person to like kind of get to know or like just meet up for a bit. So we went to Cosmic, which is like my favorite restaurant in Chapel Hill.
Did you suggest it?
I think I might have.
Probably.
Probably.
No, I remember because you messaged me on GroupMe. And I said, ah!
Because fun fact, Kathryn actually really wanted to be my friend. So.
I did, I'll admit that.
So yeah, we just really clicked, and then
we talked for a long time, and then we went to dance practice. And then after that, though, I feel like
we didn't really talk that much. And then in the summer, we have this thing called May Trading, where like you're like with all the orientation leaders for like...
It's like intensive training.
Yeah, like the whole day, because orientation hasn't started yet. So you're there like for like 2 weeks straight, just like chilling with orientation leaders. And so I think that's when we really became friends. Like, I don't really know how. Yeah. We just kind of started talking.
We did the intro together.
Oh, facts.
But even then, we weren't that close.
Yeah. I don't really know when it happened, but it just happened. It just like...
Over the summer, I think, is when... I don't know that it was May training, but I guess that was the start of it. And then during the summer, like after every session, we would debrief.
Yeah, I would go to her
in my room.
And I'd be like... debrief sesh. So
I think that's really when we got close, but I think that happened pretty early in the summer.
Yeah, because I feel like it was really hard for me in the beginning of the summer, because I feel like I was
the
like,
first session was hard. Actually, maybe I don't know. You like opened up a lot during the first session, so
because I was really emo during that time in my life. But
it's hard.
Yeah, now it's like I feel like for the orientation, like it's just the beginning that was really hard for me. I don't know if it was like that for you in the beginning, but he said nope.
No, I'm trying to think. Probably. I mean, I don't really remember, but I think like the start of it's hard, and then you get into routine, and then it becomes a lot more like natural. But
facts. But I feel like because like I was going through it, and Kathryn was there to help me out. It was really nice, and we bonded that way. And I feel like.
We talked in the basement a lot.
Yeah, and then like pulling all-nighters together.
And then we sent that picture of us in the group meeting. People said, y'all are friends?
Right, yeah. Because if you think about it, me and Kathryn...
we're very different.
Yeah, we're very different, but we're both Catholic, so I guess it's what binds us together.
That's what we're friends.
Yes. My mom actually loves Kathryn because I go to church.
I'm her angel.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a hot topic, you know. I know that y'all were clamoring to know.
Now you know.
Now you know. So our second question we received is how you chose Chapel Hill, which is kind of funny. We're saying this because we're both like tour guides. So at the end of our tours, we usually say why we chose UNC. I feel like I haven't really gotten mine down yet. You know what I mean? Then? Like the story, yeah.
So I always talk about how both my parents came to UNC, and I think that really solidified like wanting to go to Carolina from a young age. And we used to go to games together a lot and like visit campus a lot, and my older cousin went here too, and so I think I just like knew a lot about UNC for a long time, but for me, I went to an early college for high school, so it was around 40, I think there were 46 people in our graduating class, and so I knew I wanted an environment that was a little bit bigger than that, but I also wanted a good balance of social, academics, and athletics, and I think UNC really offers that. There's a lot of good sports teams here. Obviously, like men's college basketball is one of the bigger ones, and that's what really drew me to the athletic side of it. But I think in terms of academics, I knew I was interested in majoring in business, and UNC has a really good business program, and so that's something that kind of drew me here. And also having like a social aspect that was really important to me, and something that I wanted to find wherever I went to college. Because UNC is bigger, I thought that there were a lot of good opportunities for extracurriculars, which is probably one of the things that I've like been most involved in. And then yeah, just like balancing those things, kind of close to home, like an hour-ish away, which is nice. Not too close, but not too far. But yeah, I would say those are the main reasons why I chose Carolina.
For me, I feel like I chose UNC because, well, I really didn't want to go here till like April, honestly. Like, I had NC State 21 in my bio.
Just see how it looked.
Yeah, honestly, it didn't look that bad. I was like, ooh, kind of cute. But then I applied for the Global Gap Year Fellowship, which is basically like a fellowship where you take a gap year funded through the school, and you do service for like 6 months abroad. So I really wanted to take a gap year after high school because I said, ooh, I can't take it. So I applied, and then we came here for finalist weekend, and we spent a lot of the time in the Campus Y, which is like our Center for Social Justice. So I really liked it because it felt like very like passionate, and I was like, I don't want to go to a school that's like only in it for like, you know, like the grades. I wanted where people are actually excited to learn. People are very like inspiring because like people don't really, I feel like people usually don't just like do school. It's like they do like a lot of stuff outside of school. So yeah, that's why I feel like people being like passionate and like wanting to do stuff like, you know, for their lives, not just like for their academic career. That's why I chose UNC.
Yeah, I think also I talked a lot about like the like practical aspects of why I chose it, but I think the people are really what like make UNC different. And I think like even going through campus when I give tours, it's nice to see people that you recognize, even though it's such a big campus. You still see your friends, and like maybe you say hi.
They say hi, may not.
But it's nice to like be surrounded by such like passionate people who really care a lot about school and like care about each other too. And I think because we have so many different extracurricular opportunities, you can get involved in a lot of things that you're really excited about. And I think I've learned a lot more about myself since coming to UNC.
Yeah, we're really UNC stans. We got a shrunken head. We're low-key matching. Yeah, we are. It's like the same color scheme. We didn't plan this. This is just something we do usually. So kind of segueing into that, we're gonna talk about like balancing school and like a social life, because I feel like when you like come to college, it's like it seems like it's such like a divisive thing where it's like you have like, you know, your social life, but you also have to worry about school. So Kathryn, how do you feel like you did with that?
I'm a planner for sure, so I think that really has helped me out a lot. Now I use Google Calendar, and I use my physical planner, and I think my physical planner I like to keep separate with like my schoolwork and assignments that I have due, and then my Google Calendar is more of like classes and social things and like meetings and stuff like that. But for me, planning is a lot of what gets me through like balancing the schoolwork and the social life. I think I like to get my work done in advance, so that's really helpful. And just like knowing what you have going on during the week is important, because then you know if you have time to make those extra plans. And I think it's also important to make time for your like social life, and you can do that in a lot of different ways. But I think like putting that time aside for the weekends is what's helped the most.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I'm a very last minute person. I can't lie. And so I feel like it's like very hard for me to be like, because I feel like I'm always like, if someone's like, oh, let's hang out, and I'm like, oh, I have an assignment due, I'm like, okay, let's hang out, you know what I mean? So I think that sometimes what helps me is like I block like I feel like until like 5 or something, like where I like do my schoolwork, and then in the night I'm usually like I'll like hang out with people and stuff like that. And so I also feel like studying with people is like nice because like you get social interaction, but also like you're like
doing work,
you know what I mean?
Productive semi.
Yeah. This next part is kind of like not really school related. It's like we're both yes, so we're both orientation leaders, or we were we were both orientation leaders summer 2019. So basically what an orientation leader is, it's like when students are new to the school and they're like coming in, they it's like a mandatory like 2-day extravaganza of like
it's like welcoming the incoming and first year
yes.
or incoming first year and transfer students. So first year students go through a 2-day session where they learn how to register for classes, learn about what it's like to come to Carolina, transition to a university setting. And then you'll have orientation leaders who take a small group of students, so like 16 to 20 students, and take them through different sessions throughout the day. And then you have other orientation leaders who work with the families, and then some who do administrative work, and it kind of just rotates based on what you've done most recently, and kind of like what you need and what they need. And then with transfer students, that's a shorter 1-day session, and mainly for them it's helping them get their like one card, which is like your student ID, and kind of just answering any questions that they might have.
Yeah, so it's really like I'm trying to think, it's kind of like a lot at once, and basically yeah, as a OL you just kind of help like welcome these new students, and like you expose them to like a lot of different like parts of the university, talk a lot about identity, which are things they may have not thought about before coming. So I guess to start out with like the bad part, I would say for me the worst part about being an orientation leader, I feel like is probably, this is gonna sound kind of bad, but I feel like when you have groups that aren't really into it, and then it's like you're just spending like all your energy for these people who really don't care. That's kind of like the worst part, just like not really having like your energy matched, or people like trying to, but also I don't blame them because this is mandatory. So yeah.
For me, I would probably say like just the scheduling of it's kind of difficult because you have 2-day sessions back to back, and it's like all day long. So you start at like 7 a.m. end at 10 p.m. and then that's like when your job technically ends, but like you still have to clean up, like come back, get yourself ready, like help students if they have any trouble in the residence hall where you're staying, and then start again at like 7 or whatever.
I can't believe we did that. Like
yeah, like back to back to back to back.
Yes.
And then the hardest part I think is like switching over to do a new session on Wednesday morning because you just finished one.
Yeah, Wednesday mornings are
and you have to have the same amount of energy for the next one, but like you're tired, and like you said, like some of the students may not be as excited to come, and so just like keeping your energy up and being excited and giving your all to every student who comes in, because that's all of their first and only orientation sessions.
That's facts.
So keeping up the energy is probably difficult, and like taking time for yourself at the same time.
But I feel like on the flip side, the best part I would definitely say like are like the people. So I feel like the students like being able to like open up, and also like knowing that you like made a good impact on them is like very like fulfilling to hear. But also having like people like on the team and like people you meet through orientation, like other orientation leaders, is just like such like amazing people that honestly you might have not met otherwise. So I feel like just like the people that you meet and like feeling like you're making a positive impact, I feel like that's like the best part about it.
Yeah, I would echo that and say like not only like people on the team that you meet, but also the student connections that you make, and just like being a support system for your students during the school year, but then also like when they reach out later on and say like, oh, I need help with this or something, or I don't know, when they feel comfortable enough to open up to you, that makes you feel good because it's like you're at least someone that they feel like close to when they first get to Carolina. And then the friendships on the team, I would say.
Oh, thumbnail. Having motivation in college. I feel like there's a point where motivation runs out and it's just straight up discipline, you know what I mean? So I think that in terms of finding motivation, I feel like Pinterest is good to like find motivational quotes. But for me, I think just kind of like thinking about, I guess, what it took to get me here, you know what I mean? I feel like thinking about like the parents, like their sacrifice that they made for me, and also the sacrifices I made for myself to like get into UNC and to like be where I am, and just kind of remembering that. And I guess like when that doesn't really work out, I feel like just kind of like knowing that there's like an end to all this, and like you know what I mean, it's like
working towards like a future.
Yeah, working towards like a goal, because I feel like I don't really know what I want to do, but I'm like, oh, what if I want to go to grad school, and like I need good grades for that. And since I am very open-minded and like I'm like, oh, I don't know what I want to make sure that like I do like well like socially, but also well like academically and well like professionally. So like kind of like just doing it, I feel like what motivates me is like in the future, like I would regret not like putting my all into it, or at least putting some sort of effort into it.
Yeah, I would say like you kind of have to have some sort of internal motivation and thinking about like your purpose for being here. And also I think a lot of times it's easy to take education for granted and saying like, oh, like school's so hard, or like I don't want to study tonight, or I don't want to do homework. But if you think about all the people who would love to be in the position that you're in, I think that really like serves as a source of motivation.
Yeah.
And like also thinking about like my younger siblings and how I want to like be a role model for them in that way. And like wanting to show them what it's like to like work hard, and that you can like get to your goals by doing that.
Facts. Another question we got a lot was how to make friends in college. I'm gonna start off.
Yeah, my first year I would say I made most of my friends where I lived, and that's just like, it's nice because you all live in the same space and like very easy to go to each other's rooms, you eat together in the dining hall. But I think like as you go throughout your career in college, you start to make friends in like what you're involved in. And for me, I found that a lot of that was through orientation, because that's what I did for 2 years. And I think you just like start to become friends with people who are have like similar interests and kind of care about what you care about. Yeah, exactly. And so I would say through extracurriculars is probably the best way to make friends, or like close friends. And I think like you can meet people in your classes and like through other friends, like mutual friends, but I would say extracurriculars is probably the best.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I wasn't really close to like my like suite mates or my roommate my first year, but I made a lot of my friends through like being involved in a lot of clubs and stuff like that. So definitely through like the global gap year, like my best friends are through that, and also like through orientation, and like now I'm in like Epsilon Eta and Phi Sigma Pi, so having friends through that has been really helpful. But I think that just like, this sounds very like, you know, cliche, but you kind of have to like put yourself out there. What is the worst thing that can happen when you reach out to someone? Like, yeah, it might be awkward, but at the end of the day, it's like, wouldn't you like want to like have put in that effort, you know what I mean? Instead of being like, oh damn, like I have no friends, you know? So yeah, I think that that's really helpful. So just like finding something to get really involved in helps, not just like kind of like filler activities, but like going deep into these things where you spend a lot of time. So not just extracurriculars, but time consuming extracurriculars. That's a really, because y'all bond through the suffering.
Well, like another thing is I think when people first get to college, like everyone wants to make friends.
Yeah.
So I think people are super eager to meet people when you first come, so that's a good time to like take advantage of that too. But I mean, you're always meeting people, and I think up until like you leave, you're gonna keep making new friends, and I think maintaining friendships is probably the harder thing than like making friends in the first place.
Facts. All right, so our last question, the best and worst parts about Chapel Hill. All right, I can start with the worst. So.
Okay, start us off.
I feel like the worst part about Chapel Hill is like, honestly, the academic rigor here. Like, I feel like I am a hardworking person, yes, but it's kind of intense here sometimes. Like, I feel like a lot of my assignments are like a lot, and like, I think that sometimes, especially around like midterms or finals, like the stress culture is like so intense. People are like, I haven't slept in like 72 hours. I'm like,
too much.
Right. So I feel like sometimes like being like very overwhelmed here, and also I think that just like the amount of like the amount of work you do is like, I think that's my least favorite part of Chapel Hill.
I don't know. That's hard. I think.
Oh man, it's so hard for her to go.
I feel like it's hard to stand out sometimes because there are so many people who are doing like such great things, and you know, you're surrounded by so many amazing and talented people that it's like hard to make yourself feel differentiated or feel like you belong here. Like sometimes there's a lot of imposter syndrome, I think. but I guess just, like, knowing that you got here for a reason, and, like, we can review your admissions file and see why. I mean, you were chosen to come here for a reason, and I think everything happens for a reason.
Facts.
So, that's another good thing to remember with that.
What's the best part of Chapel Hill for you, then?
I think, like, the people and the connections that you make, like, it's such a great school to be at. Like, so many amazing people have gone here, and, like, I don't know, it's just, like, the overall feeling that you get. I'm always, like, proud to say that I'm a UNC student, and I know that there are a lot of people who want to be at UNC, and I remember being in that position, so, like, now being able to be here and be a student is a great feeling. Like, when you're at games and, like, cheering for Carolina, it's such a good feeling, and, like, walking around campus, I think about, like, how beautiful it is, and I think, like, the connections that I made here, I know are gonna last after I graduate, too, and even just, like, when you're looking for internships and jobs, like, the people that the people that you talk to who, like, recognize Carolina or have gone here, and you can talk to them about their experiences. It's just amazing to see, like, the network that you create at UNC and the people that you meet.
Facts. I feel like definitely, like, the people, like you said, are, like, it's, like, definitely, like, the best part about it. And I think that also just feeling like you have so much potential here, since it is, like, big, like, you can join so many different clubs. Like, I feel like it's big enough where it's, like, you don't really feel like, oh, this is, like, kind of, like, the same people over and over again. I feel like you always, like, see someone new every day, but at the same time, it's, like, small enough where it's, like, you feel like you have a community once you do find your people.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I just feel like, the amount of, like, internships and, like, jobs I've been able to have, like, here have been, like, really helpful, and I just think that it's an environment where it's, like, supportive, but at the same time you have to take initiative. So I think that being able to learn how to take initiative for yourself and, like, learn how to put yourself out there, learn how to, like, try to find, like, these opportunities has been very, like, valuable.
Forces you to grow.
Yeah, so I feel like definitely, like, it's a place that inspires growth. And yeah, no more questions from the audience. But
the audience.
The audience. Me, I wrote all the questions. So, yeah, that is our Q&A. Thank you for joining us. If you stayed the whole time, like, comment, subscribe. I'll leave Kathryn's social media down below. Ooh. I actually do have social media, but I'm not using it for a year. But so yeah, thank you so much for watching. Any last words for our audience? Oh, if you want to come to Chapel Hill, definitely apply for the Global Gap Year Fellowship if you get in early action. But also, even if you don't go to Chapel Hill, it's, like, you're where you're meant to be. And, like, you know, everybody has their, like, own life path, and
you'll find it.
Yeah. Bye!
Bye!